People think I'm trash.
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to Hot Sketch. My name is Corey Saucier. I've decided to do an extra bonus Twitch um, tonight. I hope you all enjoy it. I just saw one of my favorite all-time artists, uh, Travis Cherish, post something on Twitter, and then it sent me down a link hole, and now I found myself on YouTube, and he's starting to post little videos of his art, and I love him. So hopefully, he'll start doing that more often. And because my favorite artist just posted something on um, YouTube and is giving me a little inspiration, I thought I'd do a little extra session tonight and draw a little. I just did a phone call to my buddy V's house. He is actually on the phone with me right now. Hey V's house, how you doing? Um, and so he might jump on a little later and help me out. As you all know, I'm really new to this, and so I'm just trying to get the hang of it. We do every Thursday nights. Me and V's house do a dual Twitch. And tonight I think I'm just going to go on for maybe an hour. Um, take some of this little inspirational energy and try to finish doing the sketch I'm doing of um, Cloak and Dagger. Uh, uh, and see what can come of it. So thanks for watching. Tag along, hit me up in the chat, um, and let's go. Hopefully everything's working properly. It looks good on my end. Hopefully it looks good on your end. All right. All right, so I'm doing a cloak and dagger, which I have a one that I did many, many years ago, which I actually really love. I should be able to pull it out for you, but I can't. Maybe I'll find it on my oh, I just powered off. Maybe I can find it on my Instagram. But I did a Cloak and Dagger many years ago. It's one that I really sort of the characters that I really enjoy. I love the way that their powers work together, and I love that they're like black and white. I love the interracial component. I love that they're supposed to be like these like rough kids from the streets. Um, and right now, I am trying to work on these sort of like stylized things that I'm trying to do with my sketching lately. And so she's actually a really great way to do that because she does this thing where she goes completely white. All right, but I'm gonna hang up on the phone with you, okay? All right, that's fine. Jump in on Discord or I don't know how else you would do it. Yeah, jump on Discord. I'll be there in a minute. All right, bye. All right. She really lends you to sort of being able to do these like really interesting things with her power set because in one of her power sets she just sort of goes to white, right? I should probably not draw so heavy when I do it. But she has this thing where her powers just sort of go to white, which allows you to sort of do these weird things with her powers or her outline. Like here I'd love to just sort of have her barely visible. And I was actually thinking lately she has this costume thing where she has this costume thing where it's supposed to go to sort of like skin. It's like supposed to be all open flesh, like stomach and half her boobs hanging out. But because they're rebooting her and rebooting them as sort of younger characters, I think that's a little weird and inappropriate. So I think I'm going to try to redo it with a little black on her. So maybe a little black in her costume in the middle where usually it would sort of be skin. I think I could just do a sort of like do a black dagger and then accentuate the same thing in Cloak when he's doing his in his costume, just sort of have some white elements. So maybe instead of his cloak being black and purple, it can be sort of black and white. I don't know. I haven't figured that part out yet, but we'll see. I am going to pull in um, oh, hey, V's house telling me that my head is in the way. Well, I mean, I don't know where else to put my head. uh, um, that means either I need to put the camera in a totally different location. 'Cause I think either way, you're still going to see my face or my head, right? Ugh, I don't know where to put this Discord thing. That didn't work. All right, V's house. I see you on here. You're saying that my head is in the way. I don't really know what else I'm supposed to do with that. Oh, it's in the way of my top cam. Ugh. I thought I had sort of fixed that. Um, I don't know. I'm sorry, I can't.
Hello?
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, so your head is just in the way of the top camera.
Um, I don't know how to do what I'm supposed to do about that.
Yeah, so
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, hold on. Mm.
Hello?
Yeah, for some reason that's giving a lot of feedback. Hello? Can you hear me?
Hold on a second.
Uh-oh.
I'm trying to fix my stuff real quick.
Mm.
There we go.
Mm.
All right, go ahead.
Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, something happens like just more like when you're just like leaning over to draw and whatnot. The top of your baseball cap covers the majority of the lower portion of the pad.
Okay.
So you'll probably want to
Mm.
reposition the camera a little somehow or whatever, or maybe like the Cintiq, maybe push it up a little forward so you can push the pad up higher, and then that way when your head comes down, it doesn't block you too much. But yeah,
I don't know. I don't want to know what to do about that part.
yeah, your head totally covers it when that happens.
Uh,
You might have to try drawing with your far away like that.
I don't like it.
I hear you.
I
I
don't know what to
definitely
do
hear
about
you.
that part. uh,
Okay, there goes my camera. Finally, they're working. Jeez. There we go. That's all working now. Do that. Do that. Now you're all good there. Let me see something. See, that's better.
okay. I just got an email from you saying my head is in the way, or the text saying my head is in the way.
You just got the text right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's crazy. All right, let me get my bots turned on real quick and whatnot. Then I'll jump on with you.
All right. What's her costume look like?
Let's do studio real quick. Transition.
Yeah, so I'm super excited. I hope that he decides to join the community of sort of people that are sort of online more often. I think that would be so great to sort of see him doing more. I always have been a fan of him, but he doesn't do a lot uh, publicly. And I'd love to see him join in and be part of the party. Maybe if I raise this a little bit more, I don't really know how to do that or why I would have to do that, but
I think you're fine.
okay.
You're good right now. You're definitely good right now. Now you're not. Oh, this is baseball cap.
Oh, I see it now. I don't know what to do about that.
Um, you can try positioning the camera on the like maybe move the neck down some or something like that.
Mm, what to do about it. All right, so I'm trying to figure out how to not have my head in the way while I'm drawing, but if camera comes from above. I don't know how to fix that. Ugh. Growing pains, you guys. I'm trying to figure it out. It's always very, very um, seems very difficult to me. I feel like the more I get into it, the more problems I find.
Man, I don't get it sometimes. This thing never like
Okay.
does what I needed to do when I wanted to do certain things. But it's okay because I am jumping on out.
All right. How's that look?
Jesus late. Yes, it is, Blue. How you doing? Welcome to the stream.
Okay, I think that's gonna do it then. Yay.
I am hanging with Hot Sketch as always. He got inspired to do some artwork because he was watching his favorite artist Travis Charis on YouTube, and he posted some stuff which I think I hardly ever done anything like that. So Hot Sketch got kind of inspired and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go live." I'm like, "Okay, like you wanna go live with me?" I said, "All right, let me go start up my stuff." I went to go start up my stuff, and my computer crashed. So now I'm back up, I'm live, and there you go. Was about to go to sleep. Well, you can still go to sleep.
Were you about to go to sleep?
No. Blue did. Blue was L underscore blue underscore L was about to go to sleep. Well, you can go to sleep. I'm just gonna be on for an hour recording, hanging out, and I'm actually gonna be inking this tonight. I got a commission from a buddy of mine. He wanted me to ink this piece for him for something that he's doing for a promotion or something like that. I'm not sure what it's about. So this is what the pencils look like. He sent me a larger image of 24 by 36, almost poster size drawing of this item. So I'm going to ink this, going to start inking this tonight, work out some of the details on it of what I'm going to do. I went ahead and printed this on a Strathmore 11 by 17 Pro blue line paper. And I went ahead and resized it and did a blue line, a non-photo blue or blue line print of it from my brother printer. And I'm going to be inking this. I also, this page over here is a new cardstock that I picked up, which is has a smooth finish. And from what I can see, it holds up really well with nibs, which are quill, right? Which are these, and the G pen or the security pen, as well as the G pen, which is this one. Um, and then it holds it really well with brush. And I'm dipping this brush, so that's some of the strokes over here. Like all this over here is brush, and then this is all nibs. So I was just practicing, seeing how it feels, see if the paper was going to get teared up or if it's going to bleed a lot, depending on the different nib. So depending on the different nib, it does have a little bit of bleed. Like over here, as you can see, this I don't know if you can see it, but has a little more heavier bleed than the other ones. Everything else is pretty damn clean. It feels very comparable to a manga strip comic board, which is really nice. And a manga strip comic board, I'll show you what it looks like. That is this right here. It's a smaller, wider platform, and this is what most manga artists draw on this size. Um, so yeah, so it's very comparable to
Are you
this.
live?
Yeah, I'm live.
Okay, hold on just a second.
So what happened to your screen? Oh my gosh! Wait a second. Your screen went off. I hate when that. Screen went off.
Let's see if
You're
this
acting so
works.
funny. What's wrong, Billy?
My doctor says I have Skittles pox.
Really?
Are they contagious?
I don't think so.
Contract the rainbow. Taste the rainbow.
That's weird. Uh-oh.
Let me see here. I am gonna do.
Uh-oh. That's weird. Uh-oh.
Who's this guy? Who's this guy gonna pop up? Nobody.
Who's this guy?
Look at that.
Who's
I'm
this guy?
switching cameras, but
Nobody.
you're not popping up. You're not popping up. I don't know why you're not popping up. How's the audio, guys?
I'm switching
Can you hear
cameras, but you're not
Hot Sketch
popping
and
up.
myself perfectly fine? Or
You're not popping up. I don't know why you're not popping up.
I lost his camera.
How's the audio, guys? Can you hear Hot Sketch and myself perfectly fine, or what's going on? But for some reason, I lost his camera. It doesn't want to pop up. It wants to act all crazy on me.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Can you hear me, Venom?
I can hear you now.
Great. All right.
What are you doing? I don't know. I can hear you now.
Oh my God, there's too much going on.
What are you doing? I don't know. I can hear you now.
Oh my God, there's too much going on.
Okay, cool. Yeah, my mic is okay, cool. Basically directly on there. I don't know what happened to the feed of Hot Sketch, but yeah, my mic is basically directly on there. I don't know what happened to the feed of Hot Sketch, but that's fine. Yeah, my mic is basically directly on there. I don't know what happened to
Oh my God,
the feed
I
of
can't do that. That's too much.
I'm just gonna do this right now. I'm gonna stay with this screen for right now. So right now you guys only get the overhead camera.
It's too much.
So forgive me. Welcome to the house. Ipex. How you doing this evening? So yeah, so this is like I said, this is a new paper that I picked up. So I'm gonna be using this for basically giveaways and for stuff that I'm gonna be drawing on stream. So it's like if I'm not working on comic book and I'm doing like those character drawings and whatnot, I'm gonna be drawing on this paper. So I can go to a fully finished render and everything else like that. And when I do giveaways, I'll be giving away the original art. And that way it'll be giveaway for I'll be doing sub giveaways as well as follower giveaways. I may even turn around and do like double page spreads depending on what I feel like doing that night or whatever it is. And those will be part of giveaways. Giveaways will happen once I get to a certain level of followers and a certain level of subscribers. I'll start doing giveaways. And there you go. So I'm going to test out some of this ink still on this paper. So I'm not going to be doing too much tonight per se myself, but I'm going to start lining some of this stuff up again for this inking commission that I'm doing. So I will be lining that stuff up. So you'll get to see some of the process of like setting up a page for inking and that type of stuff. Like especially when you get lines like this that aren't like really ruled out properly. You bust out your compass and then try cleaning that stuff up. Yeah, I said that the mic is definitely on the table. Yeah, I already added the game to okay, so for the audio mic is my snowball, right? And remember the other night when you jumped on and you and I believe Hamstrip, you guys were helping me with some of the audio stuff and whatnot. So what I did is I actually did all those settings for the audio with the game and everything else when you guys were like, yeah, the audio sounds good now, it sounds a lot better, and that type of stuff. I did it with that. But now for some reason, that's working the same way. This one in here. And this is just a pencil holder, for if you're wondering. Ow, I just fucking stabbed my hand. Great. Uh,
Don't stab yourself.
yeah, it is super sensitive. No, it doesn't. I mean, the only thing I could really do for my mic audio is I can actually lower it down. Right now it's peaking in the yellow. I can drop it down so that should help. So I went ahead and dropped it down. Does that sound better?
All right, let me see if I can pull up a visual for her costume. Because it keeps tripping me up.
And at Blue, I normally don't stream on weekends. This is actually this was impromptu by Hot Sketch. Like if you're watching his stream or if you hit the link or on the title for my header, you'll be able to see dual stream. But you'll also see that, or if you go back and look back at his stream and follow him, you'll be able to check out his video when this is over. He basically got inspired, saw some stuff, and from an artist that he loves, and he was just like, you know what? I'm inspired. I want to draw. You want to draw with me? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll go with you. My wife was like, yeah, you should draw with him. I'm like, okay. So I drew with him. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm drawing with him because he said, hey, I'm inspired. Come draw with me. And I said, all right, I'll come draw. That's really how it all happened. I was sitting around checking out a book that I picked up today. And yeah, that was pretty much it. I went to my comic shop today and picked up my comic pool. So yeah, I'm a comic book geek.
So what'd you pick up today?
I picked up Sideways. I picked up Batman, Batman and the Signal #2. It's only a 3-part miniseries. I picked up like just a bunch of new books, like the Infinity Countdown and whatnot. I picked up the Adam Warlock issue. I actually missed that one because that one came out first, and then the Infinity Countdown started, and then after that is the Infinity Prime and Infinity Countdown. And Infinity Countdown is like the main story basically right now. So yeah, I was just picking up the stuff in between that.
Cool.
Away from home. Oh, you guys shouldn't let the weather bum you out. Don't let the weather bum you out. Apex just, I say if you're gonna do it, do it. Honestly, like the big thing is, if you want to do something, the best way to the end of that point is just do it. It's good to also come up with a routine. Like if you're not used to something, right? Like I'm not used to. Like I look back at my sketchbook that I was doing for my sketch of the day sketchbook, and I realized that the very first drawings that I did, when I first jumped on Twitch was in 2016, and that's when I met you and Elite and James Neely and everyone else that I've met on Twitch, right? And now it's 2018, I'm just getting back to getting on Twitch. It was like an entire year, maybe a little longer, over a year that I didn't stream, right, because of work. And you remember before I had a routine, I was on like twice a week, like clockwork. And I fell out of that routine. So I'm trying to stay with the routine now, but unfortunately, OBS has been a pain in the ass. I'm not gonna lie, OBS has been a real pain in the ass. Okay, I don't like this. Well, I'm gonna get this other one that actually locks in place. I have a lot of different tools, so when you see me switching a lot, yeah, that's why, because I have a lot of different tools. Yeah, but I'm sorry, guys. Again, like I said, this was very much an impromptu. So it wasn't planned. Because again, normally I don't go online on weekends. My weekends are vacation time.
They are, but today was special. We decided to do something special. And I'm still trying to figure out these sort of like, get back into the groove of drawing more often. And, Vidam, he's always trying to tell me I should practice more. And I should, but I don't. And so I felt like while I was sort of like being hit by inspiration, I should probably just take advantage of it and just actually do the thing that I should be doing. But for me, I think I'm really sort of like, I think getting a lot of inspiration from just watching and getting involved with a lot of other artists or seeing what other artists are doing, what they're sort of like contributing to the genre right now. Just do straight black on that.
Oh no, in fact, I tried to see if you had old posts, but I didn't see anything for your stream. We're not here.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh, that is not working out whatsoever. Okay, so that definitely just works with the pencil. So I'm gonna have to use a pencil. Oh my god, dude! I'm telling you. Try that cloak and dagger thing.
It's coming along. It's coming along. I think I just put black on her costume, which is probably a huge no-no. Um, but it's the only thing I could think of because I don't want to put skin on her. So I just wanted to sort of bring it back to black and white.
How did you do this fucking curve? Where's your center, dude? See, he did not use a compass for this. He couldn't have. God, this is annoying. See, so this is one of the things you have to, like when you're inking somebody, right? You have to try to be able to figure out where their center line is, especially if they do like a series of circles, like this one. Because it can be quite frustrating to try to figure out what they did if there's no real indication for any construction lines. Oh my God, there we go. I bet you this is what he is. I didn't use my lips. However, it's not an actual circle though. So this is the pain part about being an inker, or when you, if you're gonna be an inker, trying to figure out people's stuff. I don't know how, but that's there. Right here. This line is here. It's not the same curve. Because this is one curve here. This is the bottom curve. This is this curve. This is the top curve. And then you have this one here. I hope everybody had a great day today. I know I did.
Yeah, did you do anything? Yeah, what'd you do, mister? You said you went comic shopping, which is great.
Shopping, went grocery shopping,
Yeah.
like shopping for the house. Hung out with the wife.
Nice.
Hung out with your godchildren, lately. No, not too much. Fed them dinner. Had a pizza. We had El Pollo Loco. How many people like El Pollo Loco in the house?
Oh my goodness.
What's frustrating you, mister?
No, I think it's actually good. I just wonder if like when I should start doing blacks. I kind of just want to start doing all of this is black, right? So most of this is black and white, and I want to just start doing it, but I don't know if I.
So what did you guys do today? Anything fun, interesting? you do, Corey?
I did my writing workshop today. Went to go write with my writing buddies, and so I wrote. Actually, did a couple pages on my novel, which I haven't really done in a very long time. So that was really eventful. So did a couple pages on my novel. Did I have rehearsal today for a show that I'm doing at in the beginning of April, and I'm playing this character that's supposed to be like what is it? The not a crows. Um, what's the scavenger animal that sort of eats the other animals?
Vulture?
A vulture.
A buzzer?
Yeah, so I'm playing a vulture, and instead I decided to sort of play him black because I'm black, and so I sort of turned him into like this.
Are you really?
I am.
I
Don't
didn't
let
know that.
anybody know because it tends to like not read very well, and I might not get as many subscribers, but just between you and me, I
Really?
is. Um,
I is a black man.
I is a black man.
Really?
And so I decided to play him as like this jive turkey, so like very sort of 70s, sort of my brother.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so I think that's gonna be really
Alright.
fun. Because, like I said, this guy who does these shows, we do them sort of often. And the last time the guy played it, he played him, just the way the character sort of is, and it was sort of like like very bird-like.
Really?
And it was brilliant and amazing. And I think that guy is just really talented at doing that, but I am not. And I don't
Right.
want to sort
You don't
of.
want to mimic. You want to give your own spin.
Exactly.
Yeah. I hear you. You
Yeah.
want to have your own voice.
And so I decided that would be a better way for me to do it, and something that only I can do as a sort of, the only black person in the cast. And I think
this is the one where you're the only black person in the cast.
I'll be the only black person in the cast, yeah. And
That's
so I think
great.
it adds something to it that, is funny, it's interesting, and it plays with sort of race. The whole show plays with race a little bit.
Okay.
And so it'll be good for it. So I'm excited about it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You don't like that one. Too thin. All right. So good night. You have a good evening. Where? Good night. Good night, everyone. Have a great evening. Don't mind me, guys. I'm kind of not looking up a lot.
What are you
tonight.
working on, actually?
I'm working on a commission for somebody. It's a inking commission. He's an independent comic book artist. He also is one of the creators that go down to that comic creator thing that I go to on Thursday,
Okay.
like once a month.
I'm going to take a look at what you're doing.
So right now I am trying to work out the lines and the guidelines for this circle that he put into the image, but his circles were all off. He didn't use a compass, from what I can tell, to create the circle. Or what if he did use a compass, I don't know where his center point was. Like it does not line up to anything else. So I'm just like a little at the mercy of whatever he did. And it wasn't lining up. So because of that, I'm basically fixing it. So everything can line up properly for what I'm trying to do. Because like this is what the image looks like.
it's like cartoon and also
Well,
illustration.
I don't really know how to describe his style. From what I'm seeing, it's kind of
Oh, it's like a nightmare.
yeah, it's like a nightmare. It's very
Okay,
triggered.
I see it.
And
I see it. Okay.
it's just like these circles over here. They're not. They weren't compassed in. They were just like freehand. So there wasn't a center line. I couldn't find a center line to match up with any of his circles. And
Oh, because he's just doing connection lines. Oh, I see it.
right.
Yeah.
So because he did that, it's like there was no way to line everything up properly with his lines. So all I could do was redraw it. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm basically just redrawing those circles because I'm not gonna like. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna ink something, put my name to it, and it be half-assed.
Right.
You know, I'm just not gonna do that. So, and the type of style that I'm gonna do on this is kind of a manga inking horror inking style. So I'm gonna really play with textures and everything else. I'm not gonna redraw his um any of his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna leave everything there that I see for the most part of how it is. I'm just gonna add a lot of texture to it and follow his lines and give it a little more depth than what he has, and add a lot of texture, add a lot of depth. Um, like a lot of this in the background behind. The reason why I did the double lines on here, on this section over here for these circles, is I'm gonna have that be exposed as white, and then everything behind that is gonna have like a black to it, but I'm gonna do kind of like a smoky hatching effect. So I'm gonna have a lot of black, but I have a lot of cross hatching fading up, right? So it's gonna be going from dark and fading upwards, black and fading upwards. So it's gonna almost feel like this is like layering up, and I'm gonna do it kind of patchy, so it looks almost like it's blood splatter, but not, or like fire, or like the paint peeling or something like that. Something like from what is it, Silent Hill. So that's what I plan on doing in the background part, um, to try to make it feel really like wicked.
Right.
So that's the goal. So I just wanted to make sure I got these first, so I knew it over at. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pencil in next the lines that he has here for these mouth hooks, and I'm going to kind of draw in a little bit of design that I'm planning to do over here in terms of like to make that look kind of nasty and crazy. So, but again, I'm going to try my best not to redraw or draw more than he did.
Right.
I don't want to. I don't want to get insulted back, but I do need to put a little bit of a spin on it, just so it feels a little more like, hey, this you did a good job. I wanted to be able to like, hey, that was a great job, thanks.
Yeah. And remember, and yeah, and yeah. I was gonna remind you that you're live, so you don't want to say anything. No, I think he's great. I think it looks great. I get what you're doing. You're just sort of realigning everything because he's doing it from sort of like he's just doing it sort of like organically, but you want it to be like a complete circle. I get that.
Yeah, especially with that. I mean, the circle thing is like you can like. There's a lot of times that an artist will turn around and draw, like if they're penciling, they'll just draw in the circle, and they'll be like, yeah, I'm not going to use a template or anything because the inker's going to come in there and put a template on there anyway and fix it up. So it's like I really don't have to be accurate. I have a lot of like old pages of Dave Finch and stuff like that that I will practice inks on that. It's like that, you know. And then half the time, sometimes it's like if it's not mechanical, it's okay for it to be kind of like wobbly or whatever. It depends on how organic the artist wants it to look or be. So that's fine too. But for me right now, it doesn't really work for what I want to do.
I get that.
Put that up like that.
I want to do something really dynamic with this cape or with this, with this cloak. Um, so I'm trying to figure out, and I should probably get some photo reference for that too to see how this actually drapes. But I want to cut in half or like do like a loop here maybe.
So here's the thing: do you want the drapery to feel realistic,
No.
or do you want the drapery to feel fantastic?
So I want this part to feel realistic, the arms to sort of just fall down like a sort of heavy cloak, which I think I'll figure out. I think it's coming along. But then this part I want to be sort of fantastic. I want it to sort of be wind swept and enough to sort of create the illusion, of course, that she disappears and reappears based on where the cloth is. So I kind of want this to be chest, maybe. I'm not sure if that'll work, but maybe not. But black, 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 and then some sort of wind sweep here. But then, of course, I don't want to destroy this body that I've created for her.
Don't be married to the piece that you're working on.
Right? Okay. How do I do that then?
That's all I have to say. No, seriously, if you get married to the piece that you're working on, then it makes it a lot harder for you to erase or correct the mistakes that you've made. Right? Because if you can turn around and just be like, okay, well, that's wrong. I'm just going to erase it. Then you erase it and you're fine. My computer made a noise.
I have so much scribble, I don't even know what's going on at this point, to be honest.
You would?
I have so many scribbles, like for lines.
Mm-hmm. So Freddy Krueger's hands were all burnt up from what I remember, so I need to make sure that I add some of that stuff to his hands because that stuff wasn't there. I really have to approach this like I'm eating a manga.
Just look up cloth curls. Cloth curls. We're gonna look up cloth curls so we can add some cloth curls to this cape that make it really pretty, dynamic if we can.
Oh, look up what's his name? Dave Finch, Moon Knight.
You love Dave Finch.
Yes, I
Dave
do.
Finch.
This guy is amazing.
Moon Knight. Oh, that's exactly what I'm looking for. It's perfect, actually. That's so funny. That's funny. That's exact. It's so funny. It's exactly what I was like trying to draw over here. Is these just little old school
I'm
curls?
sure. I mean, dude, I'm telling you. Did you forget that I'm like almost an encyclopedia when it comes to like artists of what they've done and like what it is that you're looking for reference? Like I can tell you the issue number of the book or whatever it is.
Always been very good at that.
Yeah, you forgot, man. I can't remember names to save my life. I can't remember dates half the time unless it has to do with a deadline for work. But I have a photographic memory.
That's great. I still need more.
Well, I would say if you looked at the interior there, the other thing you can look at is McFarlane's Spawn.
Yeah, but
There's
I want to stay as far away from that as possible.
No, it's just how he does it, like the way he makes the curls, stuff like that. How he drapes it around. Maybe even some of Dave Finch's Magneto. His Magneto stuff looks really good. If you look up, oh, I actually really
I
like
kind of want it to look like parchment, to be honest. Let me look up parchment.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Right? I kind of want it to look more like paper.
So one of the things I think I'm going to do with these bristles, I'm going to make them look like they're metal. Like he's almost using like a metal brush to scrape the shit out of this guy's mouth. Like just ripping this poor guy's face apart. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what he's doing.
It's supposed to be like a dental thing, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, he's using a toothbrush. But you know, like how they have those metal brushes that you use with the metal teeth that you use to clean like the barbecue grill or whatever. I'm thinking that's what this could be because I have no idea what this rod is down here. There's no indication of what this. Oh, that's another. See, that doesn't work because then you would need to have this come down this way for humans feel like I see what he's doing, but then those two are fighting with each other because they're like,
oh, it's a toothbrush.
Yeah, it's a toothbrush.
It's dental. It's like dental something.
Yeah, it's basically it's very much a Hellblazer where the hooks are going into the face, pulling the mouth open, holding it open type of thing, and then he's going in with a toothbrush to scratch up his teeth. I don't know what this thing is for. All I know is that I would ask if I could ink it.
And it's not as you can see, it's not real, so it's sort of playing with sort of plane and dimension too, right? So
it's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's an interesting piece. I'm trying not to dissect it too much.
Right.
I do understand what's happening. I'm trying to. The way I'm kind of looking at it is
that should have been a spiral, I think, instead of circles.
I'm not my design.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Yeah, because like originally, like even this part of the shoulder, that's right here.
Pull it down. Was it supposed to be spirals?
I don't know because this part of the shoulder wasn't even in there. Like I added this in Photoshop to make it larger
Uh-huh.
because everything was like drawn like right where you see this line right here. That was the edge of the paper.
Uh-huh.
It was like that.
So is it just a sketch that he did? It looks like it's just a sketch he did.
No, this is a drawing.
Okay.
This is his drawing. That's his finished pencil. Um, so I basically said, yeah, I'll eat for free, no problem. So I'm taking a stab at it, seeing how it comes out, and I'm just hoping I do a good job. It's really all it is. You know, I don't want to, make the guy feel like I half-assed it or anything. I want to give my all to it. I want to, add to it as much as I can without, again, taking away from his artwork.
Right.
So that is my goal right now. Yeah, like even this line, he definitely just like freehand a lot.
I feel like this is what should I okay, I should add some like trinkets. Okay. Let's focus, focus, focus. That's there, that's good. We like that, we like that, we like that. This is also white. And this is here. This is a lot that needs to be done in inking.
Look at you. I want ink now. Give me the ink.
I need the ink.
You don't need the ink. So all that's black in there. This guns are gonna have rendering. Ink dripping so light and base. Pouring off the thing. So what you think of Richard Friend?
Oh, I just thought that introduction was great. I didn't really look too much more into it other than that one video, but I want to look at more. I was after I saw that I was like, let me jump on. So I jumped right on after I saw it. But I love that idea, the sort of like creating an intention and setting a goal. And he was like, nobody else is trying it. And it looks like they sent out to a whole bunch. They sent out like practice pages because they needed to find someone for him.
Yeah.
And he decided to not do the practice page and decided to do a harder page.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, that's sort of, he was like, watch this. Just gonna show off a little bit. I think that's
And the
just,
thing about it, he was speaking about it, and he was like, he used graphs for the entire thing.
I don't know what that
He,
means.
he used tech pens for graphs. These.
Okay.
So he used these for the entire piece.
Is that like
So like
supposed to be
all that,
harder?
like everything for the run that Travis Charest did on Wildcats, he used for graphs.
Is that harder?
Repeater graphs are harder because most people don't think that you can get a thick to thin line with them, but you actually can, right? Like for instance, so with this repeatograph, right? This one gives a bold line, right? But if you just streak it really quickly and you know when to lift it, you can get some nice hatch lines out of it, you know? Because normally repeatiographs are just used to make nice bold straight lines with a ruler, but you can get some actually nice hatch lines out of it,
Huh.
you know?
I
Where you
mean,
just do a nice bold line.
cause I don't think I'm understanding what you're saying. You're saying he was more impressive because he used a regular pen? Is that what you're saying? I'm confused.
No, because he was more impressive because one, he used repeatiographs to do it.
What does
Right?
that mean? What does that mean?
In other words, most inkers use brush or they use quill.
Okay.
Repeatiographs are for like most people that are drafters and stuff like that will use a repeatograph. When people don't know what they're doing in inking and they're first starting to do inking, they use tech pens and those type of things, and those are really frowned upon, right? It's like, oh, that's great that you can do it like that, but it always took people longer to get a thick to thin line, right? So it was like you really should learn how to use a quill or you should learn how to use a brush, because with a brush you can do thick to thin very easily. You can command it, you can adjust it on the fly. You don't have to do the buildup of thick to thin like you have to with a tech pen, right?
Oh.
And that's the difference between the two,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So if I wanted to go ahead, like for instance, in this small section over here,
So it's just it's just having more tools.
it's having it's a tool that allows you to do more, right? So like for instance, with this brush pen, right? Well, this one, I don't know if I'm going to let me use this one. So with this one, I'm going to dip it right in my ink. So I will show you real quick. So
Hold
I
on,
have
let me switch to your video.
all right.
Okay, go.
So I have my ink well, right? And even though this is a Pentel water brush pen, I'm not filling the well with any ink. I'm just dipping it into the ink, right? I'm gonna make a tip real quick. And then with this alone, I can go from thick to thin, right? So depending what I want, I can go thick to thin, right? For my render line. And I can create a nice hatch. Or I can go really thin depending on how much pressure I put, right? Then I can go from thin to thick, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can create all these different types of render lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is all with one brush,
Okay.
right? So the thing about inking with a brush is that if you get enough control, you can get really fine lines with it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to go out and like buy a Winsor Newton brush or a watercolor brush or a sable hair brush or any of those type of things. You can just do this with a $3 or $2 Pentel water brush with, you know, it's really cheap. They're very disposable. I clean mine with water. I keep a water cup on the side so I can clean it.
And
I have my ink
it's like a felt tip.
it's a felt tip. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
I like
it's a
those. I
great
remember I
tip.
used to they're like so easy for doing hair. I remember that when I was, getting into doing more inking back in the day. It
Yeah,
just makes
it's
it so
really
much easier for sort of hair and
so it's
obviously blacking things out.
and then with the the quill, the let's see a Hunt 102, which is this, which is a quill, right? Tech. This is also, you know, like a tech pen. It's a dip pen. You know, get my ink on there. I have my blotter on the side, and I can either throw my line like this, right? I can pull my line like this, right? And right now you see just a bunch of thin lines, right? But you can also turn around and get some nice feathered lines, right? basically have to have an understanding of depending how hard you press will determine how much steam comes out.
This eraser is pretty much brown now.
Which one?
These like jelly ones.
The kneaded eraser?
Huh?
Just pull it apart.
Okay.
It's like bubble gum. Just stretch it out and it cleans it.
Oh, okay. Does it?
Yeah, that's how you clean a kneaded eraser. You just pull it apart. You just like stretch it around like silly putty, like
Okay.
it's in with silly putty.
There we go.
And it cleans it.
I was like,
It
it's like,
erases stuff.
okay.
You know, so that's basically what I use for most stuff. But yeah, you can turn around and get nice thick and thin lines with a tech pen as well. It's just gonna take you a little bit longer. That's all it really is. So there's your explanation of. Hope that helps.
Yes.
Okay. Probably gonna make that look like it's carved into him. Yeah, the nigga almost I guess his flesh is being stretched or so. Like it's tore open or something. Maybe his muscle tissue exposed. Why are you laughing?
You're like, I'm like, you'll figure it out.
Huh?
You'll figure it out.
I'm trying to. I mean, it kind of feels like it's muscle tissue. I guess it could be. I mean, at this point, I'm just really trying to figure out what's going on.
Okay, come on, Clock and Dagger. So I need his gloves to be a little bit more interesting, right? If I'm gonna show the hands, I I need them to be like ornate, sort of like gold. Ooh, black and gold coming out of like black, like if they were like gold and shiny. That would be cool. Yes. Got some upgrades. I like that idea.
And the upgrade is gold.
Gold. Because if he has like he has like this whole world inside of him, like money and jewels and like creating things shouldn't be an issue, I don't think.
Does he have a world inside him, or is it a void? Because it doesn't have a beast inside of
It
him.
is. It's a beast. It's a void, and it's also a world. Because basically, what he's doing is he's traveling in a dimension. So he's traveling from this point to another point, and then coming out of his dimension. If
Right.
that makes sense. So yeah, he has this whole world. I think they've shown it where like monsters are coming out before. I think they've shown it. I've always wanted to know what it's like when she's inside of him because she also keeps the beasts away. So when she's
Yeah,
inside of him, she can sort of like have her own space too. So anyway, I just think it would be cool if he had gold. And so money shouldn't be an issue. Usually they're always seen as poor, but what if he had like these gold ornate jewels as his like gauntlets? I think that's kind of
Well, they were
cool.
kind of a big deal. Well, not really a big deal, but they showed up during Civil War.
They did, didn't they? I didn't read it. I didn't read that. I didn't see that.
They were with Captain America on his side.
So they chose against the mutants? No, for the mutants?
They were with Captain
I
the
don't.
first Civil War, not Civil War 2.
Oh,
They were with Captain America against the mutant registration and all that type of stuff.
against. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
because they were created by the government doing experiments and everything else on them. So it's like, why would they want to go back for that?
This is okay. Let's see if I can draw good gauntlets. That doesn't. Those hands are terrible.
We're doing the best that we can.
Not true. I think she looks fucking fierce. The face is a little, weird. But I'll get better at that part. Oh, there's my head again. All right.
This is deja vu. He's saying this is deja vu. Is basically because this is deja vu. I already said this is deja vu. When I had deja vu, when I remember saying deja vu. And it's funny because this deja vu I actually remember because I dreamt this last night.
What did you dream?
This moment.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What was going on?
I was on stream with you.
Whoop.
I was drawing this. I was basically fixing.
Was it just like a flash?
No, it's like it was like a flash of this moment and me saying this is deja vu.
Oh.
And then it happened, and I'm like, yep, I'm doing the exact same thing that I had deja vu in my dream, or I dreamed last night. That deja vu basically feeling like it was real. You've already been there. You've already done it.
Right.
Right. So that's what this is right now.
Welcome back.
Right. Welcome back to your reality, fucker. Keep with the person who you got. Don't change it too much. Just add to it best that you can. Oh God. Yeah. I think it's just you and I today. I think we're the only two watching our streams.
We're like past our normal time too, so I think I'm about to finish. I think I'm done with this, to be honest. I think I just want to ink the rest of it. This is like, yeah. Maybe this should be not black. This is a little complicated. right?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Huh?
What are you doing?
All the eraser stuff.
Oh.
If I was like a professional, I would take a lot more time on the cloth and make it really, really sort of realistic and strong.
Okay.
If I was a professional, that's what I would do.
And your song. Is that one here?
I really should do it, but I don't want to. Maybe next session.
Next session. You do more?
Maybe.
You know, honestly, I think it's
During the
if-
inking session.
If you just practice, right,
Mhm.
you'll feel a lot more comfortable with all the stuff that you're doing. If you just practice like your fundamentals.
I am practicing.
So you're just practicing doing body shapes and forms and stuff like that.
No.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Let me show you something. Here we go. So here's some stuff that I'm doing at the office when I'm like working.
Wow.
I have layouts that I'm doing for a sketch cover that I'm working on, like doing like an Iceman and stuff like that. Practicing my hand.
Yeah.
Right. Here's something you might like. So I was doing a cityscape, and this is just using like
Oh wow.
2 point. This is just utilizing 2 point perspective that we were talking about, and like how I said, I started doing like the whole thing again that they used to do in like the 90s.
Right.
I
Great.
really love that.
Which
And
is
then,
great.
like, you know, here's the hero character in the foreground coming at you, fully foreshortened. Right. Here goes a female character with the foreshortened leg going up, everything. The guy, you know, a serpent. You got a bird's head type of thing.
Oh, I love her down at the bottom with the hair.
This one.
Down at the bottom with the hair.
This one right here.
I think you have to wait for you to catch up, but yeah.
Yeah, this one over
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that. Is that with the new sort of triangle arm thing you're doing? Yes,
Oh, this one, no.
Yeah, it
No,
is.
this one, not at all.
I love it.
Over here it is. That was me playing around over here, and like this back shot over here. But then I was just doing these yesterday.
Oh yeah.
And I was just thinking about all the different body positions that I can just come up in my head. Like I've never drawn Spider-Man before, so this is like my Spider-Man slender body.
Have you never drawn Spider-Man before?
I've never drawn Spider-Man.
Oh, that's good. As much as you like him, how come you haven't drawn him? That's interesting. He takes a lot of detail. I think you would kick ass with him.
I would love to
if you do like in one of his like more modern costumes or even redesign the costume. Do you remember that Silver Hawk thing you did or Silver Streak, or it was like a contest you were going to enter? I don't know if you remember that.
That was
Nighthawk. Nighthawk. That was such a great design. That was a
that
really
was
great design.
yeah, that was for the Jim Valentino Nighthawk or whatever it was of his character.
Yeah.
My dad has a I think he has the because you had to send in the original.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
my dad has a print of that. I don't even have a print of that.
That was such a good design, I thought. I think it was one of the metal and the black. It was just so nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was nicely done, but someone else got hired. It was fine.
It was fine.
It was fine. I was so bitter at the time, but it was fine. Like whatever.
Yeah. It was a good design.
Like this one, I started this drawing over here, the sketch from the arm. So I started here. I did this, and then I built the chest outwards, did the legs, then I put in the head and everything. And originally, you see how the arms all the way
I
down.
think this is pretty good.
I did it way too big, and then I just made it smaller. But yeah, but all this is just playing around with body shapes and playing around with like you know proportions. And this is
Right.
what I keep telling you. It's like if you just play around with this stuff,
Right.
you'll start getting it. And then here, again, playing around with the planes of the face, just shadowing and everything else.
Yeah. I'll start doing it. I mean, like, yeah, I'll start doing it. I need to, because I think, yeah, I need to just get more into I think just more into the idea of drawing. Um,
I still like it.
anyway, it's a great one. And I think I need to, this is going to be so muddy. It's got so much gray in it, but it's good enough.
It should be fine.
Do you see these little things I'm starting to do with these little squares and these little so I'm doing these things where I'm just sort of adding in like just random textures, not textures, but reflections.
Um,
Um, I really like it. It's like I'm trying to add it as part of my style. It's all about
okay.
style. So
You,
like adding just random elements to be part of my style.
you know,
It's too much.
you know who Neil Adams is, right?
I don't think so.
You think so, or you don't think
I
so?
don't think so. No.
Okay, so Neil Adams is a like veteran comic book artist. Right now, he's currently drawing Deadman. He also created Deadman for DC Comics
Okay.
way back in the day. He originally came from advertising, like back in the day, like Don Draper and those guys.
Okay.
Right? So he was an advertising artist, right?
Okay.
And one of the things he was doing this interview with Wired, I think you can find it online on YouTube, and he was doing an interview on Wired, and he was. We'll have that conversation next time.
What is that? Okay.
Yeah, we'll have that conversation.
All right.
I'm trying. I got into a discussion today inadvertently with my the shop owner at the comic book store.
Uh-huh.
Because I was like, because she doesn't read any of the mainstream comic books or anything like that. She only reads independents.
Okay.
And her reason behind that is because she doesn't like the way they draw the female characters in mainstream comics. She
Right.
doesn't like superhero comics because she doesn't like the way they draw the females.
Right.
However, she turns around and she reads Squirrel Girl.
Oh, because
Right?
it changes from that, right? It's a break from that.
Yeah, Squirrel Girl is a really big break in the norm of a superhero comic,
Right.
right? Just because of the art style. If the art style was anything else, she is more or less like she wouldn't pick it up. And the only reason is regardless of the writing, it's like the art style. I'm like, okay, I can understand that, I can get behind that and everything. Um, but
What do you guys
it's not.
think? I think I did okay, huh?
I think you did good.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Thanks for the that was your decision. That's a good little choice. That's great. I definitely want to ink it. I think it'll pop so much stronger in ink. I need to add a background, maybe something to add in the background. Okay, and so you said she likes, but she likes Squirrel Girl.
What is he doing? He's doing like a backward Vulcan hand thing like this?
Yeah, he's like sort of doing West Side. You know,
Oh, he's
I
doing
just
West
sort of
Side.
want him to have his hand, just his hand sort of raised up, and they're both sort of doing things. If I
I
do the
actually,
if I do the inking, I would love to have like drips of liquid black, like where it liquefies, because where
uh-huh.
she can be light and he can just be the sort of dripping down. That'd be cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So she likes Squirrel Girl.
It's not even worth the conversation.
You're
Okay,
tired.
not
You
even.
are tired. You've started two conversations and ended them both.
Mm,
Uh,
no,
well, I
not that I'm not tired.
not worth it.
I'm just not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna stay quiet about it. It's not even a factor, basically.
Are you trying to give critical feedback? Are you trying to be nice about critical feedback?
It wasn't even critical feedback.
Okay.
It was just an opinion.
Okay.
It was an opinion. Um, that's all. It was an opinion, and the opinion was very. It was an interesting opinion to the point where the person got upset,
Mm.
and I'm like, that's cool. You can have that opinion. You can get upset if you want to. Um, and it was just like, okay,
Mm.
you know,
Your store owner?
the store owner that I shop at.
Uh-oh.
It's like, I don't know.
You're gonna have your books missing.
I, I doubt they're gonna do that. They got my money. I spent a lot of money there.
Um,
So, but it was just interesting. I found it interesting.
you know.
People get really butthurt over their politics.
I yeah, I mean, I think it's very important to start doing different female characters. Like I said, I chose to sort of make her no skin, where it's all costume instead of usually it's all open skin in the middle of her chest.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a little extra, especially with the new reboot. Um, and I like I said, the idea of him sort of being in black and gold to sort of raise this quality of sort of royalty with him. And he's a black character. Usually he's super poor. I think it's interesting to sort of make him really sort of regal as the cloak.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Mm-hmm.
and that's sort of political in a way.
Oh,
Mm,
I totally
but
agree. That's also the reason why I turned around and put what's his face? What's that guy's name? Warblade with no top on and just metal
mm,
arms and everything else, and kind of went that direction with him because how many Asian characters will you find like that? No.
yeah, and that's great, especially for yeah, uh, Warblade. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's a great pose too. Um, yeah, and it's an interesting visually too. I mean, as long as just remember that you're also doing comics, so you want to make things sort of like interesting visually. So I thought the idea of like especially if I colored it, it would be a really beautiful pop to all the black.
On that piece that you're doing.
Yeah. Uh, this is coming
So
on
you've been
your.
practicing in Photoshop?
No, not yet. No, I've just been looking at colorists and seeing how they work. So, but I haven't opened it yet. I do a lot of that, I think, first. I think that's sort of my process to sort of get it like in my head first before I sort of
Mm-hmm.
put it into practice.
Nothing wrong with that. I do it all the time.
Yeah, and luckily I see the practice come out usually, which is helpful. Um,
I mean, that's how I incorporate people's like rendering styles to everything I do. I don't practice it.
you just
I
look at it,
practice my
right?
lines.
Hmm.
I just look at it. I look at it. I study it. I look at what they're doing.
Hmm.
I look they have a technique that they're doing that I'm not doing, and I like it, then I'll do what I can to learn it. Um, Steal it, learn it, whatever the hell you want, but I'll figure it out.
Right.
Because a lot of times it's a certain way of how you hold the brush, how you hold the pen, how you do X, Y, and Z in order for it to do what you need it to do, what you want it to do. I think that's one of the things that most people miss up on. Is that it's not that people are magic, it's a technique, it's something they picked up, it's something they learned, it's something they practice. You know. That's why I still think anybody can draw. Um, I think it's different. Like anybody can draw, but only a few can really be an artist, right?
Well, that's a great way to great way to say it.
Like what is it? I think Neil Gaiman, not Neil Gaiman, but what's his name? Uh, Neil Adams said it best. He was like, "There's artists and then there's artisans. Artisans are a master of their craft. Then anyone can be an artisan depending on the field that you're in. But there's only so many artisans. There's artists and then there's artisans. Um, and I can understand that because I'm an artist. I'm good at what I do. I, I'm capable of learning new things that I cannot, but I'm definitely not an artisan. And there are people out there that are artisans today, and their work is just amazing. You know, but yeah, I can definitely say I'm not an artisan, and I'm okay with saying that. You know,
Artisan.
yeah,
Mm.
like I would say Jim Lee is definitely when it comes to comics, he's an artisan. Um, you know, um, Mark Silvestri, artist.
He's actually on right now.
So Jim,
Hmm.
yeah, he's probably working on a page.
He's like started to show his comic, his I guess actual drawing.
Yeah, he's been drawing pages at night. So I think that's when he does all his actual really. So like the book he's on. Okay, so I think I got this page all prepped and ready to go for what I need to do for inking.
Looks very clean. Is it all lined? Is that all outlined already?
I mean, for the most part, it was already outlined. Like it was this.
And
All
so
I did
you're
was go
inking
in.
a copy of the pencils.
Yeah, I printed a copy of the pencils because that's pretty much what pencils do now. They will scan their pencils into the computer at a high resolution, send that digitally off to the inker, and then the inker will print it on a board, and then they will ink it. And that allows the penciler and the inker to keep their own original art, as well as it allows them to meet deadlines without, waiting for like FedEx and all this other type of stuff for the pages to get there when you're on tight deadlines.
And so then you'll take the non-photo blue and you'll print that, you'll copy that and print that to show it without the inks, to show it without the pencils.
Without the pencils.
Huh. Okay.
That is exactly it. Interesting, right?
I guess.
You sure like that thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it works.
Okay.
There's some artists and pencil and inkers that still, turn around and do the originals. Um, I'm okay with getting someone copy or scan page. I'm quite alright with that.
All right, well, Mister, I'm done. I think I'm finished. I finished my piece. I did my little inspiration for tonight. Woohoo!
Cool. I am too. So thank you so much.
Yep.
So to everyone, thank you so much.
Oh,
And I'll sign off.
Thank you everyone for watching. This was a bonus one. Usually we go on Thursday nights from 9 o'clock. Tonight we decided to do a little extra. I got inspired by Mr. Travis Cherish. Hopefully he joins us on Twitch not too long. But until then, I'll be checking out his YouTubes. And check out my buddy V's house right on his channel, and he'll also be on Thursday at 9 o'clock, and probably more if he's so inclined. See you guys next week. Love and light. Bye.
Yes, love and light. Namaste. Yeah, guys. So again, thank you so much for passing through. Really appreciate it for anybody that's there. If you like what you see, go ahead and hit that follow button on myself or Hot Sketch.